Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm here with another video, obviously, and I just want to firstly say I'm sorry if you can hear noise from outside. The weather is just disgusting. It's pouring down with rain, it's so windy, and it's just really loud, and I've tried to wait until like it's a good time to film, but it's just not stopping. But actually it kind of ties in quite nicely with the topic of video that I'm doing today, because I thought I'd have like a little chat with you about ways that I have found to kind of help with the winter blues. I know, like, I don't know, you call them the January blues, whatever. I did do a blog post which I'll link down below, where I've just like written about it if you'd like to read it. But I think like the sort of few months after Christmas, like January, February, can be quite difficult. I don't know, just like Christmas is gone and it's very dark and the weather's rubbish, and you can just like, yeah, you can feel like very like unmotivated and down and very, yeah, it just feels a bit rubbish, really. And I kind of just wanted to start by saying, when I'm talking about the winter blues, the January blues, whatever you want to call it, I'm not necessarily talking about diagnosed depression or you know, like a mental illness. Like, I'm more kind of just talking about those times when you just feel a bit rubbish, but I do think it's important to kind of make people aware that they need to like be aware of like how they're feeling and things like that, because stuff like the January blues or whatever can possibly develop into something more like depression or something like that. So it's important that you kind of keep track almost of like what your mind is doing, and you know, we try and take care of our physical bodies, and it's also really important to take care of your mental health as well. So I'm in no way like saying that these little things that I'm going to talk about will cure depression or anything like that, because let's face it, it's not going to happen. But I think as somebody that struggles with depression and mental health problems anyway, it's just good to find little things that you can do that just help you get through the day. And the things that I'm going to talk to you about are the things that I use, my strategies, I suppose, just to make life a little bit easier. And, you know, I'm in no way an expert in any of this thing. You know, all I'm doing is talking from personal experience about the things that have helped me over the years that I've had trouble with depression and struggling sort of after Christmas and stuff like that. Anyway, that was like a really long-winded way of kind of telling you what this video is about. So I've made like a little list here so I don't forget in my little notebook. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So the first thing that I wanted to start with by saying is to not beat yourself up if you're feeling rubbish at the moment, or any time throughout the year. I think, you know, everybody does get down days or down months where they just feel really bleh. That's the only way I can think of to describe it. And the last thing you need to do is to be beating yourself up for feeling like that, you know, telling yourself, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this, why am I feeling like this, you know, I've got a great life, why do I feel down, blah blah blah, because you're already feeling down. Why then kick yourself when you're down and make yourself feel even worse? You know, it is normal to have down days and down moments, and even if you have something like depression and you're feeling down a lot of the time, beating yourself up isn't going to help yourself. And okay, so the next thing that I found to help me a bit is to get as much daylight as possible. I'm sure like everybody's heard of SAD, seasonal affective disorder, I think, where basically people really struggle in the winter months when it's dark and they're not getting that the sunlight and things like that. So even if you don't suffer from SAD, I think it is important to like get outside and just get some sunlight, which I know isn't that easy when there is barely any sunlight and when it's raining and stuff like that. But I think I find that even just like going out into my garden for a few minutes and just getting a bit of fresh air and a break from being indoors where it's like can be a bit gloomy and stuff like that. Even if, you know, I have to take my umbrella out with me. I just think, I don't know, having some sort of like sunlight on your face can just lift your mood a little bit. But also there are other ways you can get more sunlight during the colder months. So you can get special lamps specifically for SAD. They have this, I can't remember what the kind of light it is, but they simulate that kind of light. So you would look at them or have them on for like 15 minutes every morning, and I know a lot of people swear by them. I haven't tried one of them. I had a quick go with my friend and found it gave me a really bad headache. But I now have a Lumi light, which you can probably see behind me on my, try and point at it somewhere over there, on my bedside table, and I really like it. Like, I'm not gonna say that it has cured me, or, you know, it's like the thing that solves everything, but I like the way it wakes me up in the morning. The idea is that it gently wakes you up to the point where then your alarm goes off and you're already sort of half awake, so that it's not quite a sort of such a shock. So the third thing that I have on my list is to spend time with a pet. Now obviously not everybody has a pet, but you know, I'm sure you know somebody who has a pet. I don't know, this maybe sounds like a bit of an odd one, but for anyone that's sort of got a pet, I think you'll like understand that they can be really good at understanding how you're feeling and cheering you up a bit. I've got 2 dogs and 2 cats, and they seem to be able to sense like if I'm having a bad day or something like that, and they'll just, you know, they'll come and sit and snuggle with me on the sofa or whatever, and I think it just seems to lift my mood. Sometimes, like if I'm feeling really anxious or if I've had a panic attack or things like that, I will sit with them and just, you know, stroke them and stuff, and it really just relaxes me. And I don't know, it's very difficult to describe, but it's just something about having an animal with you that just seems to, I don't know, it can be any pet, whatever you like, you know, dog, cat, guinea pig, rabbit. Fish are really great to watch, I think, are really relaxing. Okay, so the next thing that I am trying a lot harder to do is to not make unachievable goals. I think it's very easy when January comes around to think, you know, I'm going to get fitter, I'm going to do more exercise, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to drink more water. Goals like that I think are very difficult to know when you've achieved, because they're not specific enough. So I find it more helpful to make more specific goals. So if I want to eat healthier, instead of saying I'm just going to eat healthier, I think, right, okay, I am going to replace my, I don't know, my evening meal with something, I don't know, come up with something, and, you know, I'm going to make sure with my evening meal I have 3 portions of vegetables every day. And by making a goal like that, I think you know then when you've achieved it, you know if you've got 3 portions of vegetables in that meal. So I think it's better, I find, for my mental health to make goals where I can know exactly what I need to do to achieve that goal, and then when I've done it, I know that I've done it. Because I think half the thing about making a goal is that feeling once you've done it, being like, oh, I've achieved something, that's really great. Another thing that I find can help get you through this rubbishy few months is to book a holiday, or just to book something that you can look forward to. So, you know, obviously it's great if you can book a holiday to a Caribbean island somewhere, but in reality a lot of us just can't do that. So, you know, I try and maybe contact some friends and just say, look, I'd really love to put something in the diary, let me know when you're free. And then just putting things in the diary to look forward to, I find can really just help you get through the week, the month, whatever. I tend to try and look at my sort of plans sort of a month at a time, just so that I can get an overview of that month, because sometimes you can get to the beginning of a month and just think, oh my gosh, like this is like 30 days, how am I going to get through this? Like I've got all this work to do, I've got exercise to do, whatever. So just like planning little things, like even like not necessarily with other people, just like put a date in your diary that says, right, on that date I am gonna watch a film, and then you need to make sure you stick to that so that you've got things to look forward to throughout the year, bigger things and little things. The next thing that I want to talk about is exercise. Obviously exercise is great, and can really boost your mood, you know, it releases endorphins and all that kind of thing. But for someone that's chronically ill, with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, exercise isn't the easiest thing to do. But like, I don't know, I think when people think of exercise, they think of like cardio, going to the gym, being like really active. Whereas like I've started having physio quite recently, and I've realised that exercise can be as small or as big as you want it to be. So I've been given a few exercises to work on my core strength, and I try to do them 3 or 4 times a week. It's not necessarily happening all the time, but that's what my goal is. Trying to find something that you can do, whether it's like, I mean, one of my exercises is literally like to turn my head from side to side while I'm standing up, to work on like core strength and balance. So it can be like as simple as you like. Okay, next up is to eat well. Now, I kind of feel like a bit of a hypocrite talking about this one, because my diet is not great. Partly that's due to my digestive problems and the fact that my body just doesn't seem to like food. But you know, I can't sit here and preach about, you know, eating 5 portions of fruit and veg a day and you know, cutting out sugar and all this stuff, because let's be honest, I'm not doing it. But I know that if I eat better, so if I, you know, try and incorporate more fruit and veg, well, not so much fruit because I can't eat much fruit, but you know, if I do not cut out sugar completely, but if I reduce the amount of like crap that I'm eating, it does seem to help how I'm feeling. My next thing is to be more sociable. I think at this time of year it's quite hard to kind of go out with people and do things. Like in the summer it's lovely, you know, it's sunny and it's warm and you go out for barbecues and you go out for drinks, and it's just like, it's nice to go out of the house. Whereas now, like when it's cold and raining and wet, I just look out the window and I'm just like, nah, I think I'd much rather like curl up under a blanket and have a hot chocolate at home and watch EastEnders or something like that. But that's great, like for some of the time, like not a problem. But I think it's really important to like make an effort to try and do some social stuff as well, because I find if I'm at home and not seeing people for a long time, it has quite a negative effect on my mood. And you don't even have to go out, like, you know, invite somebody over for a DVD evening or a pamper or something like that. Just kind of getting that social interaction. Something else that is really important is getting a good night's sleep. And again, I don't really feel like I'm in a great place to talk about getting a good night's sleep, because my sleep has always been pretty screwed up. But I think that's more down to my illnesses and things like that. But I think, you know, getting a decent amount of sleep each night has a massive effect on how you're feeling mentally. I know that if I don't get a good night's sleep, I feel really grumpy and crap the next day. Whereas if I've had a better night's sleep, you kind of tend to feel a bit more motivated and just able to deal with things a bit more, I think. So I don't know if you've heard of something called sleep hygiene. It sounds kind of a bit weird, but actually it makes a lot of sense. And I'm more than happy to do like a proper video describing it all, because if I describe it all now, it's going to just take up way too much time, and this video is already going to be quite long. But it's basically about getting into like a good sleep routine, and kind of giving your body the best chance to have a good night's sleep. So like, I don't know, just go quickly, things like having a bath, having a hot drink, going to the bed at the same time each night, waking up at the same time each morning, etc, etc. I can't even say etc, etc. Let's stop there. So yeah, getting a good night's sleep is really important. The next thing I have got is to pamper yourself, because let's face it, like if you're stuck inside and it's crap and horrible outside, why not, you know, run yourself a bath, put in a lush bath bomb, just chill out. Like, however, I'm not going to tell you how to pamper yourself, because I'm sure you know the things that you like to do, you know, whether it's painting your nails, watching a DVD, having a bath, like I said, having your favourite drink, or like other things where you go out, you know, going to get your hair done, going for a massage, having a spa day with some of your friends. You know, it can be as big or as little as you like, but I think, like, I don't know, I think I feel better when I've had some me time. A few like little things that lighten my mood a bit, especially at this time of year, are putting on some fairy lights. As you can see, I have them behind my bed, and I like to just turn them on because it kind of reminds me of Christmas. Probably sounds a bit stupid, but I don't know, I think it just like, it brings a bit of warmth into the room and just makes it feel a bit more cozy. So fairy lights are a big winner for me. I also love to light candles. I tend to not light candles in the summer. Like, I wish I did, because I have sort of quite a lot of summery scents, but I don't seem to think about it in the summer. But in the winter and like going into the spring, I love to light candles. The scent kind of makes you feel good. I just love seeing them flickering. I find them very relaxing and cozy and just really lovely. So yeah, fairy lights, candles, and also fresh flowers are a big thing for me. My mum's always like been really, she's always loved flowers and things like that, and for a while, like for quite a long time, it just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't even on my radar. But the last couple of years, I've really like started to feel the benefit of having fresh flowers around the house. So now I do try and have some fresh flowers in my bedroom, although at the moment I'm just looking over at my vase, I don't actually have any. And you know, like, I end up buying my own flowers, because generally most of the time no one else is going to do it for me, so you know, why not pamper myself and buy myself some flowers. So yeah, there are a lot of sort of little things I like to do, and I'm sure like you've got your own things that you just do, perhaps you didn't even realise you do them, that make you sort of feel a bit better about yourself. But I think it is just about finding little things that kind of get you through the day, I suppose. Something else that I am sure I've talked about either on my YouTube or on my blog before, that I have started doing, I think I've done it for like 2 years now, and I think I originally got the idea from Pinterest, so you know, don't credit me because it's not my idea. But for the last few years I have made myself a happy jar, or a good things jar, like this. Basically, sort of, I decided to get lots of different colour papers and used a different colour for each month. So this is actually last year's jar that I need to empty and start again. But every time like something happy or something good happened, I would just write it on a bit of paper and then pop it in the jar. And then when it gets to like end of December, beginning of January, you empty your jar and like read through them all. And I just find that it helps me to see, I don't know, I'm one of those people, I don't really want to admit that, but I'm one of these people that I think I sort of remember the negatives a lot more than I do the positives. And so I can look back on a month or a year and just think, oh, it's been a really rubbishy year, this happened. But by making myself a jar like this, it kind of shows me that actually, although maybe there were some difficult times, there were also a lot of good times. And these aren't like massive things. These are like meeting up with a friend, or getting a nice letter in the post, or going shopping with my mum. I mean, there are a few like bigger things in there as well, but I think it's like it's the little things that matter, and it doesn't just help you at the end of the year as well, because I just keep this like up on my on top of my dresser, and it's nice to sort of see it building up as the year goes on. So that has been something that's been really useful to me. I've actually this year got an app called Happy Jar, and Happy is spelt HAPPI, and it's basically like a virtual one of these, which I've been doing as well. So you pop like buttons into a jar. I really like it, but I will be doing this one as well, because I do like to have sort of a real jar in my bedroom, but the app is really good if you don't want to sort of do that. A couple more things to go. Something else that I think is really, really important is finding something that you can laugh at, whether that be watching a funny YouTube video, watching a comedy on TV, or a good DVD, or just anything that makes you laugh, a book, you know, whatever. Just finding things that you can bring out when you're feeling down. So, you know, when I'm feeling rubbish, I like to watch YouTube videos. I like comedians like Russell Howard, Michael McIntyre, Miranda. You know, I like things like Live at the Apollo and stuff like that, because you get to discover new comedians as well. And then I've just got loads of DVDs, Disney DVDs, comedies like Bridesmaids and things like that. Just anything that you can kind of put on and you don't necessarily have to think too much about, but that's just going to kind of make you laugh. Like, I'll tell you a bit of a story. When I was, I don't know, maybe 16 or 17, I was quite unwell with my mental health. My depression was pretty bad, and I was waiting to go into a psychiatric unit, and I couldn't remember the last time I had felt happy or laughed. And my dad put on a show by Billy Connolly. It was just like one of his stand-up shows. I'd never watched Billy Connolly before, but it was on the telly and my dad put it on, and like for the first time in months or even years, I can't remember, I remember laughing, and it didn't take away the depression or how difficult things were, but it was, I don't know, it was a bit of an escape, and it was nice to just laugh and know what it felt like to laugh again. So I don't know, I'm a big fan of finding things to laugh at, because I think laughter and smiling, like even if you don't feel it, can actually help you. I think they say like, even if you don't mean it, even if you smile or you like fake laugh, it actually releases like happy hormones or whatever to then make you feel that bit happier. I don't know, I'm not sure, but for me I think that probably does help. So I wanted to pass that on to you. Okay, so the last thing that I have found helpful with lifting my mood during the winter months and beyond is to get creative. I really enjoy being creative, whether it's with my blogging and my YouTube, but also I enjoy things like scrapbooking and card making, project life, anything like colouring and things like that. It's just like, for me anyway, I know other people aren't necessarily creative, but for me, just finding little outlets of things that I can do that aren't sort of related to work or you know, business stuff, just sitting down and losing myself in art or creation or something like that. You know, I can't think of the right words to describe it, but it just, I wouldn't say it necessarily makes me happy, but I think it's a way for me to distract myself from how I'm feeling and to kind of feel like I've accomplished something at the end. I love to be able to look at something and think, oh, I did that. Like, even if it's not perfect or whatever, like I've sort of been taught recently that it's not like the end product that you're looking for, it's the process of doing it. So rather than like focusing too much on creating this perfect scrapbook or a perfect card or whatever. Like I try and focus more on just enjoying what I'm doing at the time, and then if I get something great of it at the end, then that's great. So that's all of the like tips that I had for you on ways that I manage my down days and the winter blues, or whatever you want to call it. But I did kind of want to add at the end that I think if you're feeling down a lot, or you know, I think you can usually recognise if you're not feeling like yourself, and if you're starting to get those kind of thoughts of being very sad and upset and tearful, then I just want to really encourage you to seek professional help, because there is a difference between having a down day and having depression or something like that. And you know, I'm not qualified to tell you what you've got, and I don't want to, but you know, just don't be afraid to ask for help. I think generally your GP is probably the best place to start, but there's also so many charities that you can ring or email and just get some advice from. The Samaritans are really good. Mind is fantastic. Those are kind of the two main ones that I can think of off the top of my head, but I mean there's so many like specialist ones as well. But I think if you're having, you know, a lot of downtime, if you're getting thoughts of like harming yourself or anything like that, then you do need to get help, and the help is out there. It's not necessarily always that easy to access, but it is out there. And you know, don't kind of play it down and think, oh, you know, it's just normal, everyone feels like this. You know, it's not normal to feel down all the time. I'm not saying you're like weird or anything, because you're not, but what I'm trying to say is you don't have to put up with feeling down and upset and tearful and suicidal all the time. You know, there are people out there who want to help and who can help you, and just I don't want people to feel worried about asking, because you know, you shouldn't be. You know, mental health is just as important as physical health, and I want people to understand that and know that and feel able to talk about it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video. Like, I know it's quite light-hearted with like the different things you can do, but I want people to be aware that what looks like a down day or a down week can turn into something more serious like depression or other mental health problems. So yeah, I would just urge you to have a chat with your GP or ring the Samaritans or Mind and just get some advice on, you know, what they think, because they're the best people to advise you on what to do next. So I hope that this video has been of some help. You know, it's probably not telling you much new, but I just thought it was a good way to sort of talk about mental health, but in a slightly light-hearted way, but hopefully still with getting the message across. So I'd really love to hear like your thoughts on what you do to help you through your down days, whether any of the things I've suggested are good for you or that you haven't tried that you might be giving a try now. Just yeah, any comments on what you do to help you, because I'm always looking for ideas to kind of add to my toolkit, as it were. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, then I'd really like it if you liked and subscribed to my channel. But yeah, I'm really grateful for you watching this, because I think this has probably been quite a long video, like looking at my timer up there. Also, if you've got any kind of videos you'd like me to film over the next few months, I'm always looking for suggestions. I've got ideas of my own, but it's always good to hear what other people would like to see as well, because you know, I can just add them to my list and it's stuff that I can give it a try. I'm kind of open to doing most things, so yeah, if you've got any suggestions, I'd really love to hear them. So I will see you all in another video, and yeah, see you later. Bye!